Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Leo here, and I will be your humble host today. And I am in the old historic town of Matewan, West Virginia again today. I'll tell you guys a story. Before we get into it, I have a question. You know how there's always thousands and thousands of people, historians, YouTubers, all that tell the story of the George Washingtons of the world. You know, the famous people, the movers and shakers, the rich folks. But I got a question. Who tells your story? Who tells my story? The regular people. You and me. We do at the Hillbilly Files, and that's exactly what we are out here today to do. Now, I am at the site of the Matewan massacre, which is, as most of you know, one of the leading historical events that had to do with the labor movement in the area and made a big change. The whole world changed because of what happened on this little corner right here. We'll let them pass. They're doing a little bit of work. Let them go on up the tracks. Now, like I said, this right here is the old Matewan massacre site, but we're not here for that, or the bullet holes therein from the Matewan massacre. The bullet holes are right there. You can still see the holes in the wall from the gunfight. But we're not here for Sid Hatfield or Mayor Testerman or any of those other famous people from that famous fight. We're here for someone else. Now, for more than half a century, one man cared for all of the teeth of nearly everyone in Matewan, West Virginia. Dr. Orie Madison Whitt, born in 1893, right across the river in Pike County, Kentucky. He practiced dentistry in this little tiny coal town for an incredible 53 years. His name still comes up when old-timers talk about the people who made Matewan what it is today. Dr. Whitt was a graduate of the Louisville College of Dentistry, where he completed his dental training. He was the son of James Madison Whitt and Mary Elizabeth Hunt Whitt. He married Fanny Scott, who is also buried with him. He originally shared his space with Dr. Roy, right up here, who was buried, who was remembered as owning or managing the Magnolia Hospital right up here in Matewan in the mid-20th century. Later, Dr. Whitt moved into a building with Dr. W.F. McCoy, where the two practiced together. Matewan's downtown has been rebuilt, flooded, and renumbered many times. The 1920 flood wiped out part of Main Street, and another in 1977 brought demolitions and the new flood wall over there that reshaped the entire town. By the 1900s, the new 911 addressing replaced the old system. In Dr. Whitt's day, listings simply said McCoy Building, Mate Street. So while he worked on the same block for decades, the modern layout no longer matches. On December 6th in 1970, after attending Sunday service at a church right over here, I'll show you one second. One second, right here at the corner, you can see it. that big pretty church right there, which is also just out of, you know, a tidbit of little footnote. During the Matewan massacre and the events just after, the local residents hid in that church right there. That was a safe place where they could go to get away from the fighting. On December 6th, 1970, after attending Sunday service at that church right over there, Dr. Whitt began his usual walk back home, crossing the tracks behind the business row where his office had been for so many years. Kind of ironic that that's coming through right now, because a train came through town about that time. A train came through town just as he stepped onto the rails, but he didn't see it in time. The collision killed him instantly. The story stunned the whole town. After a lifetime of steady service through floods, coalfield gunfights, and hard decades of work, he lost his life within sight of both his church and his old office. Dr. Whitt was taken back across the Tug Fork to his native Kentucky and buried in Johnson Memorial Cemetery in Pikeville, along with his wife, Fanny Scott Whitt. For 53 years, he fixed everyone's teeth, chatted with neighbors, and crossed those same tracks almost every day. No plaque marks his office now, but as far as we can tell, no one can point to his exact door. But his presence still lingers in Matewan to this day. And today we remember him and say thank you for helping thousands of people find relief in an area so remote. In all honesty, he probably could have had a bigger business and a bigger practice in a bigger place. And his life would have probably had a completely different outcome. But that wasn't where his heart was. The place where he lived, loved, praised God, and eventually died. But we'll just walk back out here real quick. It's kind of noisy. I tried to stay away from the noise a little bit, but the trains kept coming. You know how that is. But it's just kind of, I think it's cool to come out and just tell the story, like I said, of the you and I of the world from time to time. There's plenty of people out there to document all the rich, wealthy people, the movers and shakers of the world. But nobody documents our lives, do they? I guess out of all the ways of going, I suppose that's probably one of the better ones, I guess. You know, dying on your way back from church. I don't know if it helps with the big man above, but it probably can't hurt. But it's just very interesting to come out here to old historic Matewan and tell you guys these stories about the people and the things and from yesteryear. Things that don't exist anymore. People who don't exist anymore, but did things that were worthy of mention. And the thing about it, people like that who work their entire lives and don't bother people, you know, they do their own thing and pay their own way and don't bother anybody else. They don't really get the mention. They don't get the plaque, they don't get the statue, but they do at least get mentioned from time to time on the Hillbilly Files. You guys have a really good day, and we will see you on the next episode of the Hillbilly Files. Leo out.